Good evening and welcome to the 2021 Indigenous Entrepreneurship Awards. Sunshine Tenasco and Indigenous Cause, and I'm the founder of Powwow Pitch. As an entrepreneur myself and an advocate for Indigenous entrepreneurship, I'm thrilled to be your host for tonight's program. We are broadcasting from the MyTac studio in Ottawa, located on unsurrendered Anishinaabe territory. On behalf of Powwow Pitch, thank you all for joining us at our inaugural Indigenous Entrepreneurship Awards, presented by RBC, Shopify, and Facebook, in partnership with Export Development Canada and Square, and in collaboration with industry and nonprofit organizations who share our commitment to advancing Indigenous entrepreneurship. It is an honor for us to celebrate and recognize excellence and outstanding impact on Indigenous entrepreneurship while bringing you inspiring stories of leadership and legacy. Tonight, we are celebrating 8 Indigenous entrepreneurs from across Turtle Island, selected from more than 300 applications and nominations. These entrepreneurs are making waves of impact, and they are entrepreneurial icons of our generation. The objectives of the Indigenous Entrepreneur Awards are to celebrate the journeys, achievements, and impact of creators that contribute every day to our collective entrepreneurial landscape, to increase awareness of the importance of strengthening Indigenous entrepreneurial confidence, and inspire present and future generations to be entrepreneurial changemakers. Each of the winners of tonight's awards will receive professional advisory services from our partners at MNP. Our official pin for awards recipients, designed and hand-beaded by artist Vashti Etzel, founder of Golden Eye Designs from Casca Territory, Yukon. And a signed limited edition print of the artwork Joy by Métis visual artist and author Christy Belcourt, which features a plaque with their name and recognition. Throughout the event this evening, please join us in celebrating online using the hashtag Indigenous Icons. Now, to set the digital stage this evening and to open our hearts, minds, and spirits, it's now my honor to welcome musician Fawn Wood from Plains Cree and Salish Saddle Lake, Alberta, to grace us with a special opening performance of Remember Me.
Hey yo hey, hey be a way yo, hey yo hey, hey be a way yo, hey yo hey yo hey, hey be a way yo, hey yo hey yo. Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hello, hey, hey, be a way yo, hey yo hey, hey be a way yo, hey yo hey yo hey, hey be a way yo, hey yo hey yo. Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh. Hello, hey. ho, hey oh hey, hey oh hey oh ho, hey oh hey oh hey, hey oh hey oh hi oh hey, hey oh hey oh hey oh. Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky. There I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey-oh. Hey-oh, hey. Hey-oh, 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 hey. Hey-oh, 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 hey. Hey-oh, hey. Hey-oh, 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 hey. Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky. There I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hi-oh, hey-oh, hey-oh.
Kichimi Fawn for the beautiful performance. You have moved us with your spirit and song and truly set the stage for tonight's honoring of 8 outstanding Indigenous entrepreneurs. Now is the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm delighted to begin the presentation of the 2021 Indigenous Entrepreneurship Awards. We will be presenting 8 awards under 3 categories: for up-and-comers, for entrepreneurial spirit, and for entrepreneurial icons. The first category is the Up-and-Comer Awards, in recognition of entrepreneurs who have been in business for less than 5 years, who have already made a significant impact in their community through their entrepreneurial example. To present the Up-and-Comer Awards, I am happy to welcome Gina Wilson, Deputy Minister for Diversity, Inclusion and Youth, who also sits on the Powwow Pitch Advisory Committee to present the awards on behalf of our co-presenting partner, Facebook.
Thank you, Sunshine. I am delighted to present the first 2 awards of the evening. I'd like to acknowledge and thank Facebook for their support of these awards, as well as Powwow Pitch for their continued growth and for helping to amplify Indigenous voices and businesses across Canada. It is now our distinct pleasure to announce the first 2 winners of tonight's Indigenous Entrepreneur Awards. We are presenting the awards for up-and-coming entrepreneurs who have demonstrated excellence and outstanding achievement and impact early on in their entrepreneurial journey. And the first up-and-comer award goes to Destinee Rosalynd Peter.
Following high school, Destinee Peter enrolled in cosmetology and began working at Tangle's Hair and Beauty Salon. After 3 years at just 22 years old, Destinee purchased, rebranded, and restaffed Tangled as a full-service salon with 7 employees serving Indigenous and non-Indigenous clients. Destinee shares how sacred a haircut can be to Indigenous people and trains her team to give respect and to use sustainable, eco-friendly, and cruelty-free products. Destinee is proud of her community and shares the importance of work ethic, speaks at career fairs, gives haircuts to students in need, and shares cosmetology lessons in her community of Carry the Kettle, Nakota Nation. Destinee also facilitates Matchstick's Indigenous Women Business Mentoring Circle, sits on NACA's Indigenous Business Youth Advisory Council, and is a sought-after mentor and speaker. Destinee is using entrepreneurship to build a better future for young people in her community, a beacon of light for Indigenous youth.
I would like to give gratitude to Powwow Pitch for this award. Everyone that has helped me to get to where I am now, organizations such as SEEF, WESC, and NACA who have pushed me to believe in myself and keep going. My family and friends, my hardworking team, because without them I wouldn't be where I am today, and my community for the continuous support. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's a roller coaster of a ride. You're constantly growing and learning, but if you're willing to work hard and be committed, you will make it happen. Because if you stick it out, the reward is so worth it. I am now a successful business owner of 8 years. I have won many awards for being a young entrepreneur, and I get to travel internationally to do what I love, hair. A lesson that I have learned along my journey is to never forget where you came from and who helped you along the way. I want to encourage other Indigenous entrepreneurs to follow their dreams. I would like to be that person that they can look up to or come to with their struggles, because I've been through a lot. Starting a family, raising a family, all while running a business. It was very difficult for me when I started out my business, because I had 2 little boys along my journey, and my husband took the paternity leave, and I'm so grateful for that. And being a woman entrepreneur is difficult because you don't know how your pregnancy is going to be, if you're sick. I was very sick during my pregnancy, and you miss a lot of the firsts of your babies, but when you stick it out after that first year, and seeing the continuous growth in my salon just makes it so much worth it. I think it's important for us Indigenous entrepreneurs to uplift and support and recognize each other. And thank you to Powwow Pitch for showcasing Indigenous entrepreneurs. We all need encouragement to keep us going.
Congratulations, Destinee. We are so proud of you. Carrie the Kettle is proud too. And now, the second winner of tonight's Up-and-Comer Award goes to Gerald James Brandon.
A 60 scoop survivor, Gerald James Brandon is an example of achievement through resilience and struggle. In his teenage years, Jerry experienced homelessness, addiction, and spent time in jail. He persevered to attain degrees in business planning, culinary arts and teaching, mentoring young people and at-risk youth throughout his life. Jerry and his wife returned to his childhood community in Northern Ontario to embark on a retirement project to bring positive change. Despite facing overt racism, construction, and funding setbacks, Jerry opened Le Tocton Taverne Américaine in 2019 as an upmarket urban bar and grill. Jerry employs 30 staff and has returned more than $500,000 to the community through wages, taxes, and local purchases, with the goal of handing over ownership to long-term staff as a legacy that will continue to enrich the community. Having just turned 60 years old, Jerry is just getting started and shares this award with his wife, co-workers, and staff who have weathered the pandemic and remain resilient.
Uju and Dinawama Canada. Hello all my relatives. My name is Jerry Brandon. Anishinaabe, Winzuin, Negigwakamikida. My spirit name translates as frost on the ground. I'm speaking to you from La Tocton Taverne Américaine, or the Indigenous American Tavern, in Haileybury, Ontario, on the unceded lands of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe peoples. I'm accepting this award not for myself, but on behalf of all of the staff here at La Tocton, who've put so much effort into making this such a special place. And of course, for my wife, Nancy, who's been my biggest supporter for so many years now. Our restaurant sits just a short walk from 100-mile-long Lake Temiskaming, where we share a border with Quebec. We are surrounded by 3 very distinct cultures, the Francophone, Anglophone, and Indigenous. Our goal in creating this space at La Tocton was to bring all these cultures together in one spot over great food and drink. And we have achieved that so much more. In the last year, we've heard many languages spoken here: Dutch, German, French, English, Anishinaabe, and more. We've introduced visitors from around the world to modern Indigenous culture, art, food, and language. Our motto, steeped in tradition but not bound by it, La Tocton is a contemporary take on North American classics as viewed through an Indigenous lens. And though we honor our history together as a people, we set out from the beginning To avoid being viewed as cliched or predictable, we wanted to surprise and delight. At Luntechton, we use pop art and humor to help represent Indigenous culture as a living, evolving, and flourishing entity. Indigenous culture is alive, it's vibrant, and it's on the rise around the world. I'm so joyed by what I see young people doing today. This year I turned 60 and was recently referred to as an elder in the community. I can honestly say I never thought my journey would last this long. As a 60 scoop child, I left home early and spent time on the streets as a teenager struggling with addiction. And now, many years later, I have degrees in business, planning, culinary arts, and education. It sounds cliched, but it's true that if I can do this, so can you. Lastly, I wish to thank Powwow Pitch for all they do to support Indigenous entrepreneurship across the country. And as there's no word for goodbye in Ojibwe, I'll simply say I wish to see you here at Luntechton someday.
Kichimigwech Gina, and congratulations Destinee and Gerald. You are both demonstrating entrepreneurial ambition matched with community impact. You are healing yourselves and your communities through your businesses, and you really are the ones to watch. Congratulations. There are 4 Entrepreneurial Spirit Awards tonight. Entrepreneurial Spirit Awards recognize Indigenous entrepreneurs who are the embodiment of the entrepreneurial spirit. They seek out opportunities and create change with their hearts, courage, integrity, and humility. They succeed in business and are leaving a ripple of impact wherever they go. To present the first 2 Entrepreneurial Spirit Awards, I am delighted to welcome Harper, Vice President of Indigenous Banking at RBC.
Thank you, Sunshine. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of RBC, I'm delighted to share in tonight's celebration of Indigenous entrepreneurship. There's something really special about the entrepreneurial spirit and how it reminds us to look to the future, lean into possibility, and ask the question of why not. There is a relentless resilience when it comes to entrepreneurs, something that Indigenous people across our nation know a great deal about. Powwow Pitch sets out to harness that fortitude and provide a powerful stage on which ideas and those who create those ideas may stand tall, find their audience, and thrive. Powwow Pitch demonstrates the magic that can happen when we come together as a community of entrepreneurs, mentors, and supporters. Let's continue to celebrate entrepreneurs, their ideas, and the community that rallies around them. It is now my distinct pleasure to announce the first of 2 winners of tonight's Entrepreneurial Spirit Awards. And the first winner is artist Patrick Hunter.
Patrick Hunter has been living the dream and thriving as an artist, graphic designer, and entrepreneur for the last 8 years. A two-spirit artist, Patrick's goal is to make people feel good and bring more Indigenous artwork into public places. Through his business, Patrick creates commission pieces and large murals and teaches virtual painting classes to support more Indigenous artists to express their culture through public art. Patrick has made a name for himself with artistic and graphic collaborations with RBC, BMO, EY, West Elm, Staples, and the Chicago Blackhawks, and was the first artist in residence for Prince Trust Canada, a charity that aids in the reclamation of Indigenous languages. Patrick's vision is for the Indigenous iconography to permeate the mainstream culture in a positive way.
Morning, everyone. First, I'd like to begin with recognizing that I'm on the traditional territory of my friends, the Ojibways of Garden River and Batchewana First Nations, in the Robinson-Huron Treaty area. This is not where I'm from originally, but the people and the sheer beauty of the area make it feel like home whenever I get to spend time here. Secondly, wow, thank you to the Powwow Pitch Committee for selecting me as the Entrepreneurial Spirit Award winner. This award brings great reflection for me because it means that people are taking notice. As an entrepreneur, there's no such thing as off hours. It's difficult to know what your next project will be or when. Your business is always top of mind, and it's sometimes hard to stop and realize the impact of the work you're doing. So thank you again to the folks at the Powwow Pitch Committee for hitting the pause button for me. I greatly appreciate it. 8 years ago, on August 13th, 2013, Patrick Hunter Art and Design was born. Just prior to that, I was a line cook, getting splashed by fryer grease and washing dishes. I knew that that's not what I'd moved to Toronto to do. But getting a job as a graphic designer in that particular city is not exactly easy. It took a lot of courage and maybe a few second-degree burns to quit that job, take the leap as an entrepreneur, and give myself the dream job that I'd always wanted since I started painting in high school back home in Red Lake. Success didn't happen right away, though. It's taken years. It's taken a lot of missteps, but then also a lot of strides because I've learned from those mistakes. My first big mistake was that I wasn't being real with myself. In the beginning, I thought being Indigenous and being gay were things that I should keep to myself when trying to get business. However, I've come to realize that success comes when you're brave enough to do exactly what the Creator intended for you, which is to live out loud. Once that was realized, projects and business have been coming in because I'm Ojibwe and because I'm Two-Spirit. And what's great is that I get to live my life in the open, making a living from my talents as an artist, and kind of living our collective ancestors' wildest dreams. As a person born in the late 80s, I sometimes forget that there was a time when Indigenous people couldn't own a business or buy property or even vote. And this award is for those leaders, the visionaries and the teachers that kicked open the door for people like me to proudly walk through. It's also for the thousands and thousands of residential school students who had dreams too, but were stolen from this world way too early. I'd like to end on this thought. As leaders in the Indigenous business community, let's make it better for those coming after us. Let's create a metric to measure success by, one that is about lifting each other up instead of trying to outdo one another, one that says, if I rise, you rise. I think it's been the other way for far too long. So with that, thank you very much, and have a great night, everyone. Chimigwech.
Congratulations, Patrick. We are so proud of you. Patrick's beautiful work has been on RBC's The Chosen Journey magazine, as well as on many of our promotional items. Congratulations once again, Patrick. And now, the second winner of tonight's Entrepreneurial Spirit Award is Inuktitut Language and Cultural Protector, Leena Evic.
Leena Evic has been an advocate for the Inuktitut language and culture for as long as she can remember. Leena has been an educator, principal, and curriculum developer throughout her career and has held executive management roles in the Inuit organizations and governments. Today, Leena is the co-owner of the Peruvic Center, established in 2003 as an on-the-land retreat grounded in Inuit culture. A place of growth, the Iqaluit-based social enterprise focuses on three main areas: Inuit language, culture, and well-being. In addition to education, Peruvic also produces film, digital media series, and books to impart Inuit language and culture, including stories, art, and music. Through Peruvic, Leena employs elder professors with more than 15 people on the team. Leena uses entrepreneurship to protect and reclaim Inuit language, culture, and identity in the North.
Inokatika namelimatek sibolongmik ilisarayumabasi koyan namitiak pungalo nerwalaktunik ubannik pilwaktumik kai takwa entrepreneur kut tayumavakalutakwa inspire liriyuyun koyan namitiaribunga ikayoksuktigi ullumitapani sakiyakpunga ikayoksuktigi pitakangmata upirusukkamik pirukfimmik I'm very grateful to accept this recognition today for a cause my company has been building up for many years so that one day it will burst through the seams and take seed to flower on its rightful ground. It was during the 1990s that I first started dreaming about a different type of learning center, one that is built on Inuit knowledge and values. I dreamt of a center where elders would reclaim their power through the teaching of their wisdom and skill. This is the context in which I started Birovik, a center dedicated to Inuit language, culture, and well-being in 2003. Working independently as an Inuit-owned social enterprise, we are able to imagine once again the essence of Inuit teaching and learning. We've cultivated a space for Inuktitut-only immersion that is essential for our revitalization programs. Every day we see students who speak English at home and in the workplace come through our Birovik doors with a hunger to reconnect with Inuit ways of communicating and thinking. My message to emerging Indigenous entrepreneurs is this: create your big picture very early on, like it's happening in all its flourishings right now. It will carry all the veins and flesh into your skeletal business plan once you begin the journey. You'll feel like it has its own soul, and therefore you'll want to treat it like it's your child, being raised to grow and well. Indigenous entrepreneurship in the 21st century, from my Inuit perspective, is filled with hope, inspiration, reclamation, restoration, bold decisions, and the creation of space for cultural pride and Indigenous vitality. Thank you.
Congratulations, Leena. Thank you for enriching your community, the world, and future generations by sharing the Inuktitut language and culture.
Thank you so much, Herb, and congratulations, Leena and Patrick. Miigwech, Leena, for preserving Inuit languages for generations to come, and to Patrick for sharing your heart and culture through your art. You both truly embody an entrepreneurial spirit. Amazing. To present the next Entrepreneurial Spirit Award, welcome Todd Evans, the National Lead for Indigenous-led Exports at Export Development Canada.
Thank you, Sunshine. On behalf of EDC, I'm very happy to be here tonight to celebrate Indigenous entrepreneurship. Through our partnership with Powwow Pitch, EDC can see the enormous value that Indigenous entrepreneurs bring to other Indigenous entrepreneurs, their communities, and perhaps most important of all, the positive role models they provide for young people. It is now my distinct pleasure and honor to announce the Entrepreneurial Spirit Award. And this award goes to a digital entertainment entrepreneur and author sharing Indigenous culture, stories, and voices. And the award goes to Tara Audibert.
Diagnosed with general anxiety disorder and ADHD later in life, Tara Audibert became an entrepreneur to forge her own path. In 2017, Tara started 2 businesses that restore Westokwe and Mi'kmaq languages by working with more than 50 Indigenous elders, artists, voice actors, musicians, game developers, and Indigenous creators just starting out. Moxie Fox Studios creates animated films, TV shows, and illustrations for comics and children's books. And the Nigweg Collective combines Indigenous storytelling with digital media in the form of animated stories and digital games. Tara is proud of her culture and shares it with humor, love, and a reverence for nature. She has received many awards for her films and book illustrations. And Tara's new TV show on APTN, which she wrote, directed, and produced, called Little Glooscap and the Legend of Turtle Island, is set to air in 2022. Tara is on a mission to preserve and share her culture and languages for generations to come.
G'day, Dungaklugill. I'm Tara Audibert. I'm a Wolastoqey member of the Tobic First Nations here in New Brunswick. It is a great honor for me to accept this award today, and I have not gotten to where I am by myself. I wanted to thank my family who have supported me in my entrepreneurial efforts, and the great amount of artists that I get to work with every day from all over the world who have helped me to bring my ideas to life. Without them, I wouldn't be able to create larger productions and be able to, share this with the people all across the world. I want to thank the organizers and the sponsors of this award for acknowledging work Indigenous entrepreneurs are doing all across Canada. It's important to acknowledge how these innovators are a driving force in decolonization. When I was younger, I was driving to my grandmother's in the car, and my whole family was in there, and I just kind of burst out, I'm afraid of Indians. And, my whole family laughed because they're like, you're in a car full of Indians. But I was thinking about the Indians from the Cowboys and Indians on TV, and basically that was all I had as a idea of what Native culture was, aside from what my family was, which did not compute. They weren't the same. So I hope that through the continued creation of Indigenous content that the Indigenous stories and characters that I create can help to create a world where Indigenous children have role models and characters that they can see as a part of themselves in them. Fear comes from the unknown, and I hope to make my culture known. So thank you very much. I feel very honored to be accepting this award today among so many other amazing Indigenous entrepreneurs. Thank you.
So congratulations, Tara. We are so proud of you. And I know your friends, family, and community will also be very proud for all of your hard work and the contribution you make to Indigenous economic development. So thank you very much. Walalan, Walaliak.
Thank you, Todd, and congratulations, Tara. How you fuse animation and storytelling to share Indigenous stories with the world while empowering your local community is a great inspiration to us all. Thank you for your great work and example. To present the final Entrepreneurial Spirit Award, please welcome Martine Guerrero, Small Business and Community Advocate at Square.
Being Lakota, we've had this oppressive weight for all these years. When you have poverty added to the historical trauma, you have to step into places that are uncomfortable in order to do the work that we're trying to do with our kids. There's nothing we can't or shouldn't do to help them.
Thank you, Sunshine. On behalf of Square, I am delighted to join in this evening for the Indigenous Entrepreneur Awards. I had the distinct honor of being a judge for this year's powwow pitch competition. Let me tell you, the future of Indigenous entrepreneurship looks to be very bright. It is now my distinct pleasure to announce the Entrepreneurial Spirit Award. And this award is going to an e-commerce entrepreneur whose work in her community rises the tide to lift others as well. It is my pleasure to announce the winner, founder and CEO of Raven Reads, Nicole McLaren.
Nicole McLaren started her entrepreneurial journey as a 9-year-old hosting lemonade stands, and that entrepreneurial spirit has continued as Nicole sets out to be a role model for her daughters. Nicole founded Raven Reads as an Indigenous subscription box, warehouse, and fulfillment center in Kamloops, BC, to raise awareness of Indigenous cultures, experiences, authors, and entrepreneurs, and invest capital into the Indigenous economy and children's literacy programs. Since launching in 2017, Raven Reads has more than 3,000 subscribers, invests more than $300,000 into Indigenous businesses and authors, has grown to 6 employees, and supported countless Indigenous-owned brands to scale. Nicole is also the founder of the Indigenous Women's Business Network in BC, a nonprofit networking group that promotes the expansion of Indigenous women-owned ventures. Nicole wants to show Indigenous girls and women that they can scale multi-million-dollar businesses with big impact and big exits.
Tansei, hello. I'd like to start by expressing my gratitude to the organizers and the sponsors of this evening's event and award show. I would also like to thank all of my friends, my family, and my team for their ongoing support of myself and of Raven Reed's mission over the last 4 years. Our journey to this point has been far from easy and has not been without its bumps, bruises, and lost parcels. As the world's first Indigenous-themed subscription box, winning this award in the first year of the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation has tremendous meaning. Raven Reed's was founded on the principles of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action. Our purpose from the onset was to utilize the power of Indigenous storytelling as a vehicle for improving the relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. Today, we are so much more. We've become a platform for amplifying Indigenous entrepreneurs and supporting their businesses, especially during these trying times of the past 2 years. And we are so honored to continue this mission and to continue to support others as we all grow and as we all aim to achieve the recognition that is so deserving. So from all of us at Raven Reed's, thank you, Marcy.
Congratulations, Nicole. We are very, very proud of you, as I know your community is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martine, and congratulations, Nicole. Nicole, you truly have created a platform that empowers so many other Indigenous entrepreneurs from across Turtle Island. Thank you for bringing your entrepreneurial spirit to Raven Reed's and for supporting Indigenous women in business through your community service. We look forward to following your success. The final 2 awards of this evening are the Entrepreneurial Icon Awards, which recognize and celebrate Indigenous entrepreneurs and leaders who epitomize excellence and outstanding impact in Indigenous entrepreneurship. To present our final 2 award recipients of the evening, please welcome Kyle Saint-Amour Brennan and Tracy Riddler, who are Indigenous Entrepreneurship Managers at Shopify.
Thank you, Sunshine. On behalf of Shopify, we are delighted to present the final 2 awards of the evening.
Entrepreneurial icons are far more than just award winners. They are acting as a catalyst for much needed change across the entire Indigenous entrepreneurial landscape. It is now our distinct pleasure to announce the first 2 winners of tonight's Entrepreneurial Icon Awards.
And the first winner is the founder and CEO of Cheekbone Beauty, Jennifer Harper.
Jennifer Harper has been making a name for cheekbone beauty in the beauty industry for several years, gaining popularity after being on the hit CBC show Dragon's Den. Throughout her life, Jennifer struggled to accept her Indigenous roots. She was estranged from her Indigenous family for much of her childhood and adult life. After learning about her grandmother's experience in residential schools, she understood how her family was affected by generational trauma. This drove her to understand and overcome her struggle with alcoholism. Through Cheekbone Beauty, Jennifer reimagines beauty products, ensuring they are cruelty-free and starting with raw ingredients from products to packaging. Cheekbone Beauty recently launched a scholarship program for Indigenous youth and released a new product line with Sephora. Through Cheekbone Beauty, Jennifer is helping Indigenous youth see themselves in a beauty brand while helping to bring Indigenous values to the beauty industry. Jennifer Harper is an Indigenous entrepreneurial icon.
Thank you, Miigwech. This is an incredible honor to be the recipient of the inaugural Powwow Pitch Indigenous Entrepreneur Award. We could not have done much of the work without this incredible community, and we're so grateful for everything that Sunshine has built. We started this tiny little brand, and it all came from a dream that I had way back in 2015, and had met Sunshine and her team in 2017 on the Powwow Pitch stage, and have been incredibly grateful and appreciative for everything that her community does to support Indigenous entrepreneurs. It is definitely not an easy task. There's so many obstacles and challenges to overcome while we're on this journey. And if I think about from where we started to where we are now, it has been nothing but a path of obstacles, from thinking about funding and how you're going to get all that money to create your business. But what I'm really happy about and know for sure with Cheekbone Beauty is that we have only been successful, one, the support of this incredible community, and second, having a business with so much purpose and passion behind it. I always talk about my brother BJ as being a painful companion, and losing him in death while building this company, although so tragic and so painful, I don't think I could have done it without that pain. And what pain offers us sometimes is passion and purpose. And so I would not obviously want to lose him for a million years, but I've been able to convert and transfer that pain into a purpose and passion. And he said something to me really early on while building Cheekbone Beauty. And he said, Jen, our youth need hope and they need help. And what you are doing with this brand is going to be great. And so I definitely have fuel on those days that I do not feel like going. When those mountain-like obstacles get in the way, his words ring through my mind every single second. And so I firmly believe and know that each and every one of you, if you have a business with purpose and passion behind it, if you do not give up, you cannot fail. So thank you again, Powwow Pitch, for this award. I truly appreciate it, and I appreciate all of your support from the beginning. Miigwech.
And now the second winner of tonight's Entrepreneurial Icon Awards, and the final award of the evening goes to
the Mi'kmaq Coalition for their collaborative acquisition of Clearwater Foods. Representing the coalition this evening is Chief Terry Paul of Member 2.
The Mi'kmaq have fished the waters of Atlantic Canada for thousands of years. The Mi'kmaq Coalition was formed by 7 Mi'kmaq communities that worked together on a landmark deal to own 50% of Clearwater Seafoods. As owners of Clearwater, Mi'kmaq communities and people are now direct stakeholders to the ownership. The revenue generated through this ownership model supports the community's growth, prosperity, and development. The coalition is working closely with partners at Clearwater Seafoods to indigenize the company as a whole to reflect its Indigenous ownership. The coalition believes this is a model for Canada and the world. When Indigenous and non-Indigenous businesses meet at the table 50-50 with benefits for both, it puts reconciliation into action and demonstrates the value of working with Indigenous organizations. The Clearwater Seafoods acquisition is a transformational and generational deal that is an example of resilience, value, and power of Mi'kmaq communities. The Mi'kmaq Coalition is a most deserving recipient of the Entrepreneurial Icon Award.
I'm Chief Terry Paul from Member 2, located on the beautiful unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq in Onamagi, Cape Breton. I'm very honored to accept this Indigenous Entrepreneur Award on behalf of my community and the other 6 communities who make up the Mi'kmaq Coalition on the Clearwater acquisition deal. These communities are Wegokma, Budledek, Miaubugek, Pictolandin, Sebeganagidik, and Bottonkik. The Clearwater Seafoods deal was valued at $1 billion, and our 50% ownership of Clearwater is a true model for how Indigenous and non-Indigenous businesses can work together to create incredible opportunities. I want to extend sincere gratitude to the communities involved in the deal, to our partners at Premium Brands, Clearwater Management and staff, the Member 2 community and staff, and especially to those who nominated us and voted for us to win this award. Our communities across Canada must continue to work together and move forward in business. We are entrepreneurs at heart, and now is our time to show all of Canada that Indigenous business is not only valuable, but we are all true leaders. Well, audio, thank you.
Thank you, Chief Terry Paul, and congratulations to all those involved in this historic entrepreneurial effort. The acquisition of Clearwater Foods is a shining example of the economic power our Indigenous communities hold when we decide to work together and put our community's prosperity at the forefront.
Kichimigwech, Kyle and Tracy, and congratulations to Jennifer and the Mi'kmaq Coalition as represented by Chief Terry this evening. Jennifer, you are forging new paths for others to follow and building a legacy of impact, sustainability, and equality. We are so proud of you. To Chief Terry and the Mi'kmaq Coalition, you show us all that a shared vision grounded in Indigenous values, we can come together, collaborate, and take back our land and resources through entrepreneurship to preserve for future generations. Thank you for your example to all of us. Let's give a virtual round of applause to the 8 amazing innovators and entrepreneurs recognized tonight. You are truly an inspiration for us all. Let's keep rallying together and championing Indigenous entrepreneurs and businesses that are reclaiming and creating a bright future. Thank you all for joining us tonight. It has been an honor to MC the 2021 Indigenous Entrepreneurship Awards presented by RBC, Shopify, and Facebook in partnership with Export Development Canada and Square. Let us all forge forward and bring to the world our gifts so we can raise each other up, heal, reclaim, and thrive. Thank you for joining us tonight. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.